My name is Elizabeth. I'm going to be going over some of the building blocks of nonverbal communication and why it's so important. So, a question for you guys is, have you ever spent time with a baby? A lot of us have. And something we learn from that is we learn to identify when they need something. Babies kind of have a built in nonverbal communication where they can't speak, of course, yet, so they use their facial expressions and paralanguage to communicate what they want. So if you see a baby who is giggling and smiling and making cooing noises, they're content, they're showing that they're happy. If you see a baby who's sobbing and crying and is red in the face, they are exhibiting signs of sadness. Similarly, if they're angry, they're really bright red, and they are screaming and they want something. They tend to either run around or sit in one place till they get what they want. The stress of being scared can be exhibited. I worked in a child care for about 6.5 years, and I would notice when kids came in and they were sleeping, when they woke up, one of the first things they would look for is mom and dad. When they didn't, their eyes would shoot open and they would jolt, and then they would start with the paralanguage of screaming. And the last one I would say is disgust. So if you've ever given a kid vegetables, you'll understand what I mean. They look at you like, how dare you? How dare you try and give me vegetables? So these are kind of the building blocks that we're built in with. It helps us communicate with the current world. It helps us keep our body moving and safe and healthy. We let people around us know what our body requires, and yet we don't even realize we're doing it. As we get older, we start to develop more social connections. We are very social species in that we need to make connections in order to thrive and become full, authentic, real functioning people, if that makes sense. So one of the things that teachers will put into classrooms is signs kind of like this. So this helps children to develop the skill of being able to identify different facial expressions. So happiness, surprise, if they're sick, if they're scared, if they're bored, if they're hungry. So there's a lot of more different expressions than the 5 that we just went over. Children on playground can make connections. Children in classroom make connections. Connections help you go through life and go through school successfully because you have a network of people who are there to support you and help you and play with you and be your friend when you need it. And being able to read other people is very essential in making that social connection. So another thing that is actually really interesting in regards to children reading social cues is if you've ever seen a child get hurt, they very much respond the way a person would. So example, I was in a child care, and one of the kids who I had really connected with, he ran into another person and he came straight to me. My reaction was very calm, very happy, it's going to be okay. You're hurt, but it's okay. He reflected back and it calmed him down. Kids very much react how they see the reaction, because if they see you scared, they're going to think they're in bad shape and they're scared. So in regards to reading other social cues, it's like a stewardess on a plane. If you see the stewardess freaking out, you're going to freak out because you're going to know something is wrong. This is more in regards to the foundation of development. Another thing that this kind of leads into is danger. Have you ever had like a gut feeling, like before something happens, like a red flag? Before our fight or flight kicks in, maybe a red flag will pop up, and you'll kind of get this gut feeling, something doesn't feel right, something doesn't seem right. So all of these social cues and building blocks have led us to a point where we can identify other people and read what they are feeling and thinking and go off of, this seems dangerous, I don't want to do this because I based on this person's nonverbal cues, I'm feeling this way and this is a red flag. So it very much helps us keep us safe. So those are the building blocks of our social, our nonverbal communication skills and how it affects us socially and throughout our life. Thank you.